Considering how much I play this game, it does not make sense for me to still be a free-to-play. I've put hundreds of hours into this game at this point, so it'd be well worth my money to whale just a little bit. I mean, I'm honestly really close to buying like something, buying some daily primos, the battle pass, something. This will probably be, as a result, the only video like this I make about Genshin, because I don't know how much longer I can resist temptation. But I've been playing Genshin Impact since day one pretty much. I had absolutely zero experience with the beta and pretty much have been playing this game blind until about AR40, which is when I started asking more questions and started looking at some guides, which definitely helped a lot for Spiral Abyss, which was the main reason I started looking up guides in the first place to help with my builds, using different YouTubers, websites. It definitely helped a lot. Mostly helped with team composition and builds, artifact grinding, tips, and just general stuff like that. Surprisingly, in Genshin, I actually feel like I have a decent amount of 5 stars, more than I expected to get at this point in the game. I don't know if I have more or less than a free-to-play should, because I don't really have many free-to-play friends at all, so I have nothing to use for reference, but I feel like I have a decent-ish amount. So far, I've got Mona, Zhongli, Venti, and Chi-Chi, who they decided to give me instead of Albedo on the recent banner, which I'm not upset about fully. I mean, I definitely wanted Albedo a lot more. I originally didn't want him, but after playing his story quest, after playing through Dragonspine, that character grew on me so much, and I ended up like really wanting him, so I did a lot of pulls on that banner, which likely means now that I'm probably going to end up getting Ganyu or Xiao, either or. I'm probably going to go for Ganyu. I know that might hurt some people, but Ganyu, I've been wanting her for so long. She was the character I initially was excited for 1.24, so I have to get her. If I don't get her, I'm going to be sad. I do have most 4 stars in the game as well. Only characters I'm currently missing are Beidou and Xinyan. I feel like I've probably gotten really lucky with some of my pulls, that or I've been playing this game way too much, because a lot of my 4 stars do have constellations on them. I have a C6 Fischl, C3 Sucrose, C2 Shengling, and I think a lot of my other 4 stars are either C1. I might have a couple C0s here and there, but a lot of them are C1 at a minimum. One of my biggest struggles as being a free-to-play in Genshin is definitely Mora. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Updates like Dragonspine definitely help the Mora bank a lot, but in between that, Genshin seems to be strikingly similar to real life, because whenever I get money, all of it's gone. Most of the Mora I get goes into normal necessities like leveling up characters, ascending them, artifacts, and weapons, which weapons and artifacts combined take up a ton of my income. I mean, leveling up characters is whatever. I can suffice having some characters at 70 or 80. It's not like something I have to do immediately or anything, depending on who I've pulled that week, of course, because sometimes I do get a new character that I've been waiting for. Like, for example, just recently got Bennett slightly before Dragonspine, and I definitely wanted to level him up super fast, so I ended up just tanking all of my Mora into that character. Weapons, artifacts for him, just everything went towards that character. But a lot of the time, leveling up characters, I can wait. Waiting's annoying, but I can wait. But having good artifacts is extremely important for stat building. Same thing with weapons. So that, artifacts, weapons combined take up a ton of Mora. And artifacts are usually the thing I'm trying to level up the most, because there's some artifact that I'm trying to level up every day. Every character has, what, 5 artifacts? And I have a lot of characters at this point, and I'm usually at most able to level up half of one a day. Sometimes if I'm really lucky, I grind a little bit harder. Maybe I'll be able to level up 1 artifact a day. But even then, I have to factor in the fact that not all of the artifacts I have the best stats that I want, so I have to go back and grind for more artifacts, and eventually when I do get an artifact that's even slightly better, or an artifact that's really good, then of course I'm going to level that up. But artifacts is a whole nother thing that I definitely would complain about. But I usually only level up my talents until they start requiring 4-star material. I'll eventually level them up past that, but that's probably not for a while or until I get rich in Genshin. Without big updates, I often have to wait like multiple days to a week to level up a lot of the stuff I have, which is a whole other topic on its own, getting stuff. Getting artifacts, weapon ascension, character ascension materials isn't too bad. I just make sure to use my resin on what I want to that day. Well, getting artifacts is definitely really bad, but everything else, not too bad. But what is a bit more challenging is deciding what I even want to use my resin on that day. I'm sure a lot of people get this. It's kind of like, do I grind the geohypostasis to level up Zhongli in 2 weeks? Or do I do ley lines so I have the Mora to level him up in the first place? Or do I grind another ley line so I have the hero's wits to do so? It's like there's so many factors even on top of Mora that I have to think about, but Mora is the biggest issue, like first and foremost. Because to ascend characters, what do I need? Mora. To use my hero's wits, what do I need? Mora. To use my artifacts to level up my artifacts, what do I need? Mora. To level up weapons, what do I need? Mora. And guess what I don't have? More money. I might be exaggerating a tiny bit, but I feel like I've managed my materials a decent bit, and Mora pretty well so far. I mean, some of my friends have told me that I have way more characters leveled up than I probably should at my rank, but hey man, what can I say? I mean, so many of these characters are cool. It's definitely annoying sometimes though that some days I just couldn't play the game anymore because I didn't have any Mora left to do anything in the game really. So I might as well just wait until tomorrow for commissions instead of sitting here grinding for like way more hours when I could just do something else. My main source of Mora in Genshin is commissions, bounties / requests, and those characters I send out on expeditions help a tiny bit. The free battle pass definitely helps whenever I get to a level that has Mora as well, but that's only like a few times a week at most. I wish the bounties / requests were a little bit more of a every couple of days thing rather than a weekly thing, because you can get through a lot of the bounties and requests in like 30 minutes or less. They are way too short in my opinion to be weekly. However, I am better off with them than without them because they give me a decent amount of Mora when I do. However, definitely wish they were a little bit more frequent. I won't claim to have 100% of the whole world either, so it's not like my only options are the things I listed off. I could go around and 100% some areas by grabbing some chests, getting those little boxes in the water. But on some days where I have done those things, it's so time consuming to the point where I might as well just wait for commissions the next day, where I'll get significantly more at once. I have a lot of friends who do have the battle pass, so I have some sort of perspective about this, but I don't have it myself yet, so I'll never know for sure. Though, from what I've heard, the Mora issue is a non-factor for people with the battle pass. And I've actually looked at it, did some research, and it's definitely not as bad as it is for people who are just completely free to play. It's enough to the point where you don't have to struggle with Mora. The battle pass doesn't make you completely rich or anything, but it's enough to the point where you don't have to struggle that much. Which is the main reason the battle pass is so tempting, because it makes the Mora thing a lot less of a factor, and I can spend a lot more time thinking about what to build for my characters rather than having it be a second thought because I need to focus on having the Mora or ability to do so in the first place. You know how I said earlier the battle pass helps with Mora a little bit more? People who bought the battle pass, they literally get triple the amount of everything the free battle pass gets, which I'm not completely complaining about because I mean this game has to make its money somehow. It's a free to play game that offers so much, so it's like having a battle pass like this I honestly think is perfectly fair to pay for. But it is insane how people have told me they don't even have to give Mora that much of a thought when doing what they want because they own the battle pass, on top of the daily Mora the game gives you from commissions, weekly Mora from bounties, which adds up to quite a lot. For me, the daily Mora I was able to get was just barely enough to level up a character or a talent or two. This is me at a higher adventure rank though, by the way. People who are sub adventure rank 40, I'd say the Mora thing, literally not even an issue. It's only an issue when you get to like the point I'm at or other people are at where they've spent hundreds of hours on this game. If you're even at the 100-hour mark in this game, I feel like it won't even be an issue for you, the Mora thing. If you're not even close to AR 40 or 35 or haven't done like all the missions, side quests, explored like a significant amount of the world, like nothing's like below 80 or 90%, then Mora should shouldn't be an issue for you. Nothing really should be that big of an issue for you, to be honest. It's when you get to the higher ranks where a lot of this stuff becomes a little bit more of a grind. But as updates continuously release, it becomes less and less and less of a grind, and they help you out quite a bit because MiHoYo, they've been listening to their fans like crazy. They've been giving us countless surveys, just asking us all these questions, and I love it because it's cool to have developers for a Gacha game listen as much as they are. I mean, these developers are wonderful. This community is wonderful. Most of this, however, was before the 1.2 update because every Genshin update just keeps getting better and better for free-to-plays like me because the 1.2 update was absolutely amazing because it added a whole new region with a bunch of side quests with an event that doesn't consume resin, which gave me loads and loads of Mora. For the past 2 weeks, the event has been out. I haven't even had an issue with Mora. I've slowly been getting more and more broke, but it's been fun not having to worry about having money to do the things I want. Overall, the Mora issue for me as a free-to-play has been annoying, but that's it at its peak, just annoying. I've still been getting on the game every single day, and not because I feel like I need to keep up with something or someone, but mostly because the game is just fun despite that annoyance, despite any annoyance, to be honest. This game's positives greatly outweigh some of its flaws, some of its annoyances. I've hardly even had to think about Mora ever since the Dragon Spine update came out, and honestly, I'm still sitting on nearly 1 million Mora despite me saying I feel like I'm running out. It's more so that I'm prepared for the moment where if I do run out, I'm back at what I was talking about before, relying on commissions and bounties. But right now, I've been sitting on a fat stash of Mora for quite a while. But now let's move on to characters, to pulling for characters. Pulling for characters is not that bad when stuff releases, but when there isn't new stuff, yikes. I'm lucky. I've been able to get 2 characters so far out of the event banners, Venti and Zhongli. I really wanted Child, and I regret not pulling for Klee, but getting Zhongli and Venti was very satisfying. Not getting Albedo is definitely going to haunt me for the rest of my life, probably, because he's might be a top 5 character for me. Yes, I loved him that much in the story update. I loved him that much in Dragonspine. He was such an entertaining character, and he's definitely an archetype that I love in most media. The pity system is a really cool system to get what you want guaranteed, but as everyone has been complaining about already, the 5-star rates are pretty garbage. Though it's nice to know that if I calculate my time correctly, I can get some of the characters that I would want. I'm not mad that I can't get every character, even though deep down it does hurt so much. Logically, getting every character as a free-to-play would be hard no matter what gacha game you play, especially for a game of this magnitude, which offers a ton of content outside of the characters. It's honestly crazy. I've gotten hundreds of hours out of this game just being a free-to-play. I mean, there's still a ton of things that I could be doing in this game if I completely maximize my time. I do hope that some of these event characters return, but I'm happy with who I have for now because I got Chi-Chi on the Albedo banner. If I grind a good amount and assuming the next event gives a satisfactory amount of Primo Gems, I should be able to get Ganyu no problem, which would definitely make my day. I don't care if Ganyu is a boring bow character. She looks really fun to me, and that's all I need. Outside of having to grind a bit more, being a free-to-play isn't entirely too different from paying. Yeah, people who will or people who just get the battle pass have a little bit more leniency, but at the end of the day, all of us are hoping to queue with someone good in artifact domains. All of us are trying to roll for good artifacts. All of us have to grind Regivines and weekly bosses. All of us have to manually go around Mondstadt or Leeway farming for ore and some other items. My experience overall, my struggles haven't been that bad, and I would totally recommend this game to anyone willing to give it a try. This game is not pay to win. With every update of the game, it gets easier and easier for people who don't have enough money to pay for roles on banners or battle passes. This game is extremely forgiving to those who decide to not throw a bunch of money at it, and will probably only become more and more forgiving as time goes on, as new quests are added, regions are added, and more. It's simple. Whether you pay or not, you still have to work for everything you want. Honestly, I love this game. I'd go as far as to say it was, in fact, my game of the year for 2020. Definitely beating other AAA titles that came out that year that I played. I haven't had this much fun with the game that's not Kingdom Hearts, honestly, in quite a while, and I can only see this game getting better and better. The community is lovely, welcoming, and talented, and the people behind the game, Mihoyo, are constantly listening to fans' feedback and suggestions. If they keep this train going with this game, I can genuinely see this game being in my top 5 in a couple of years or even sooner. My experience with Genshin Impact has been one I will never forget, and I can't wait to dive even further into this glorious game as more updates release. From music to the environments to the combat system with the insane amount of depth that I just can't get enough of. The fact that I can even hop into a world and do some grinding with my friends is just a bonus, honestly. I'll definitely be supporting this game for years to come, and which is something I honestly didn't expect I'd say for a free-to-play gacha game. This was a game that came out of nowhere for me, but this game has truly innovated the genre in ways I never thought were possible. Ways that I really do hope other games, other gacha games, free-to-play games take after. But that'll be all for today's video. I would love to make more Genshin content on the channel sometime because this game has really touched my heart, and if you want to watch me play the game live, feel free to watch my live streams that I normally do late at night or a couple of hours after I upload a video. However, if you enjoyed, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or a family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is hit that red little subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.